Now on Your Sport Swindon, I'm joined by the legend himself, Sir Geoff Hurst. Geoff, of course, welcome to Swindon Supermarine, and you're here today mainly to cut the ribbon for the Swindon that you've done and opened today, and also you're an ambassador for McDonald's, and they've got a football festival here. We'll talk about that in a moment. First of all, cutting the ribbon at the Swindon, your first visit here, your impressions?
My impressions are it's absolutely fantastic. And apparently I'm told there's only a couple of these facilities in the country. Absolutely magnificent. And it's brilliant for the young people in this area to have the opportunity to play football in a safe environment, regardless of the conditions, regardless of the weather. And I think that's important. I mean, you can see behind me, anybody's looking at it, it's just absolutely brilliant. Superb.
Yeah, I think the only other, I think there's one at Watford have got a similar facility as well. But unlike the facilities you used to have to play with when you were a youngster.
Well, the facilities when I played, they were actually called roads, where cars drive up and down them. They were the facilities. Yeah. And I kid you not, the hours I lived in Chelmsford, and we lived in a cul-de-sac. And we played across the streets, and you got to chip the ball above the curb as well. The goalposts were little indentations in the wall where the trees were. Yeah. It was interesting because you could, no cars in those days, of course, hardly any cars in a cul-de-sac, and you could play without being interrupted at all. A few years ago with McDonald's, we did a piece on where I grew up and where I played football, and we went back to that same street to show. I walked up and down the street with a camera saying, "This is where I lived, and this is where we played, and this is the road." I probably nearly got run over about 4 or 5 times before I got through the first part of the interview. And this is a cul-de-sac, by the way. It's not a main road. So the differences are huge. And so nobody will probably appreciate the facilities more than me when I look back to the time we played. And I always sort of jokingly say we played in the medieval times. You know, we played across. But it did breed, what it did help playing in those kind of conditions, toughness, you know, and balance, and if you fell over, you've got to get up and get on with it. No comment. So, yes, so these facilities are fantastic, and I hope I'm sure the kids and the parents realise the facilities. It's given the kids an opportunity to play in a safe and controlled environment, and that's the beauty of it.
And as your role as a McDonald's ambassador, you go around to these various football festivals, meeting lots of parents, lots of kids, obviously promoting football, but quite a few people don't realise just how much fantastic work McDonald's do at grassroots level, providing funds for kits, training up coaches, organising tournaments, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you touched on it. The things that McDonald's have been doing now, it's 16 years. I got involved right at the beginning, and we've provided coaching along with the FA, who did the coaching facilities. McDonald's paid the money for people to get on the first rung of the coaching ladder. That was the first thing. We organised football festivals where the opportunities to play on the day and provide all the facilities. And of course, you need the money, and you get franchisees who help sponsor these days as well. The commitment and the coaches, and of course, you mentioned the kit. They're providing a kit now for so many. Hundreds of teams in the UK over the last couple of years. And
Carl, who we've interviewed and met, who runs franchises here in Swindon from McDonald's, big football fan, although he's not used to watching winning teams because he's a big Man United fan, he tells me. Big supporter here at Swindon Supermarine as well, with sponsorship for the club as well. So it all ties in nicely and great for everybody.
Yeah, I think the beauty of what we've seen over the years is McDonald's just don't get involved, as I mentioned earlier, but the franchisees themselves are lending their expertise, their business expertise, their financial support to a lot of the communities, a lot of the sports days over the year. And we're seeing today as a big example of the huge support that Carl and his staff, I think he's got about 15 or 20 of his staff here today. Yeah. I said, have you shut your restaurants down? Because of the support, financial support, business support, physical support with his group of people. So they've had an impact on a daily basis over the years with many of the franchisees getting involved.
Okay. We'll come to the World Cup in a moment, because I know you've been answering lots and lots of questions in the last day or two. But I've got to say, having met you today, for a gentleman of your age, you're looking in remarkable condition. You're still keeping busy, keeping fit, in the gym regularly, on the golf course?
I'm keeping busy. very busy this time of year, more so than ever because of what the England team are going through. Yeah. I've tried to keep myself reasonably fit over the years, so I'm glad it's showing. Thank you very much, sweetheart. Yeah, they're the two key things. I don't play golf, not much golf. No. It's not something I really... I was down to about 3 games of golf last year, but that probably will reduce. You can only do so much. With holidays and family and things I do, the golf's taken a back seat. It's never been too big a part of my life. I think it's just that the gym has been the key thing for me almost daily, along with obviously the family. And
locally, you're based in Cheltenham, and football-wise, in this area, things have really sprung up and got bigger in recent times. Mark Cooper at Forest Green Rovers, Cheltenham Town, Swindon Town as well. It's a real hotbed. So do you get out to watch many games?
No, I don't watch. My team, of course, is West Ham. I know these teams are all local teams, but they're not my team. My team is West Ham, and so I closely follow them. I see them a few times. Well, they're not so much now because Cheltenham's a bit of a slap to get to East London in the new stadium. I did see West Ham play at Cheltenham, as you'd expect. I'm only half an hour from the Cheltenham ground. Half a mile from the Cheltenham ground. So I did see the West Ham playing in the Carabao Cup early season. So and I'm involved with all the games at Wembley. So that's another 10 games with the Cup finals and the England games, semi-finals, Carabao Cup. So I'm involved there. So you've got a healthy balance between your football life, your family life, and having a few breaks as well, and your business life. So that's a sort of healthy balance. So in terms of watching local teams, I don't. I'm delighted at the way they're doing. Of course, I think it's fantastic. Local teams are doing well, but in terms of support, you support one team, and my team is West Ham. You stay with it, of course. My team is West Ham United.
My team was Chelsea, and of course you were once manager at Chelsea back in the late 70s for 2 years, I believe. Something else I found about you, Geoff, as well. You had a chance possibly to not be a footballer, but a cricketer.
Yes, I was from schoolboy years playing cricket and football, and in the early years both with Essex and West Ham. I think the problem was I was messing about between the two sports. That was the problem. At the end of an era when you could actually compete in both sports. When you look at it, those who've obviously played both sports, the clubs are training in July, football clubs, yet you can be playing cricket until mid-September. Yeah. So from West Ham's point of view, I was probably missing pre-season training and almost 6, 8, 7 weeks of playing. So that was a real nuisance, and I didn't concentrate on either as I should have done. But what happened was that Ron Greenby stuck me up front for West Ham one night from midfield. And then my career just rocketed from there, and the cricket was out the window, and then focused completely. This is September, October '62, and my career just rocketed. Cricket was completely gone, and the rest we know is history. Okay.
Talking of history, you might have some history possibly a week today, the World Cup final, if England beat Croatia on Wednesday night. I'm sure you've been watching all the games. Fantastic times. What are your thoughts?
Fantastic. You said fantastic. It's fantastic times. It's brilliant for the team, of course. It's brilliant for the country. It's probably more nerve-wracking watching today as a spectator than it was playing. To be quite frank, it's brilliant. It's great for the country. It's a great fillip for the country when any sport that we're successful at. It's brilliant, but no more so than football, which is our major sport. So I'm absolutely delighted for them. And if you'd have asked me before the tournament, what do I think? I said after the two bitterly disappointing tournaments in the past, more recent, I'd have said quarter-final. But now we're where we are. You asked me today, I'd say we can win it, particularly the way we're playing and how the team spirit is evolving, the momentum is increasing. And, of course, some of you have no control of some of the other big boys have gone. There's only all the favourites probably you regard before the tournament, probably only the French are left as one of the favourites. So you've got a chance of getting there.
When I watched the semi-final yesterday between Russia and Croatia, I was personally hoping that quarter-final. I was hoping that Croatia would win because I fear the Russians more because of the fans as well supporting them. Were you hoping for a Croatia win, or not too worried about who got through to play England?
You posed the question. There's a balance really between Croatia are obviously a better team. You think, well, you don't want to play them, but you'd rather play the Russians. But then you get involved playing a team in their own country. On reflection, looking at the game, I think we'd have probably preferred to have played the Russians, even in their own country. I think they were not quite as good a team as the Croatians, who've got a couple of world-class midfield players in Rakitic and Modric, of course. But that it doesn't matter who we pick; that's who we're playing, but we can beat them. You know, they're a very good side. They're dangerous. Collective, they look very, very good, and will be hard to beat. But if I look at the teams and where we're playing and look at that team from that game yesterday, I would say we would be quite disappointed if we don't win the game. It doesn't mean to say we're going to win it and we're favourites necessarily, but I'd be disappointed in where we are today. We can't go and beat them with that close to a World Cup final.
Just lastly for me, Geoff, you're most famous for scoring a hat-trick, the only footballer to score a hat-trick in the World Cup final. How were you going to feel if England get to the final and Harry Kane scores a hat-trick as well? He will join you in that exclusive club. Are you going to feel a little bit of sadness because you won't be the only one, or obviously chuffed to bits because Harry's done it and hopefully England would have won?
Well, I get asked this question. One or two cynics say we don't want England to win it and anybody to score 3. But nobody would be happier. Nobody understands more than me and the group of players I play with how important it is for the national team to be successful. And sadly, we haven't had it for 50-odd years. So nobody will be happier than me. I'll be happy for the team as a whole. I'll be delighted for the country. For Harry particularly, I've met him a couple of times. He's a terrific player, a very down-to-earth lad. And I will be as thrilled as anybody else. And if I tell you that my daughter yesterday, and I'm not a celebrity family. We're not a celebrity family. I've got girls and as daughters and granddaughters.
So we're not going to see you on Strictly Come Dancing?
Very almost impossible. But just get to say that my daughter asked for a Red England shirt yesterday. My granddaughter asked for a Red England shirt, and my granddaughter finished up wearing hers and sent some pictures online of her wearing it, watching the game. So they're as keen. And we're not a celebrity family. This is unusual for them to recognise, as my children and grandchildren, that I did anything remotely close to playing football. But they're both into it. And that's how we feel as a family. We're just as keen for England to be successful as anybody else in the country.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you today, Sir Geoff. And I look forward to another visit. You come down here to the Webster Stadium in the near future. And cross fingers and touch wood for success for England in the World Cup still.
That's it. Come on, England. You can do it.